hell is this crap?
I Know What You Did Last Summer is a 1997 American slasher film directed by Jim Gillespie, written by Kevin Williamson and starring Jennifer Love Hewitt, Sarah Michelle Gellar, Ryan Phillippe, and Freddie Prinze Jr. It is loosely based on the 1973 novel of the same name by Lois Duncan, and is the first installment in the I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise. The film centers on four young friends who are stalked by a hook-wielding killer 1 year after covering up a car accident in which they supposedly killed a man. The film also draws inspiration from the urban legend known as The Hook, and the 1980s slasher films Prom Night and The House on Sorority Row. Prior to Scream '96, Williamson was approached to adapt Duncan's source novel by producer Eric Feig. Where Williamson's screenplay for Scream contained prominent elements of satire and self-referentiality, his adaptation of I Know What You Did Last Summer reworked the novel's central plot to resemble a straightforward 1980s-era slasher. I Know What You Did Last Summer was released theatrically on October 17, 1997. It received mixed reviews from critics, but was commercially successful, grossing $125 million worldwide on a budget of $17 million, and remaining number one at the US box office for 3 consecutive weeks. It was also nominated for and won multiple awards. The film has also been parodied and referenced in popular culture, and is credited alongside Scream with revitalizing the slasher genre in the 90s. The film was followed by a direct sequel, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, in 1998, with the main surviving characters returning. Later, as a direct-to-video sequel was made called I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer in 2006, without featuring any of the original cast. At one point, a remake was planned. In 2021, a television series was released. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer is a 1998 slasher film, directed by Danny Cannon and written by Trey Calloway. Jennifer Love Hewitt, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Muse Watson reprised their roles, with Brandy, Mekhi Phifer and Matthew Settle joining the cast. It is the second installment in the I Know What You Did Last Summer franchise. The movie takes place 1 year after the events of the first movie. It received negative reviews and grossed $40 million on a budget of between $24 and $65 million. A direct-to-video sequel, I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, was released in 2006, which was one of the worst movies I've ever seen, both when it comes to story, characters, acting, and technical aspects. Whatever quality there was in the first 2 movies was totally gone. And the latest announcement we got back in like 2022 or 2021, we were getting a legacy sequel where the original cast will be returning, at least the ones that survived. And I have some thoughts about the movie and what I think they will do with the legacy sequel. The article of the announcement goes something like this. The legendary late 19th slasher series I Know What You Did Last Summer is returning for a legacy sequel, and it has already scared up exciting news and updates. Based on the eponymous novel by Lois Duncan, the 1997 slasher follows a group of young adults who are hunted by a hook-wielding killer, out for revenge a year after they covered up an accidental murder. With its mix of classic slasher tropes and just a tinge of classic American folklore, I Know What You Did Last Summer had all the makings of a bona fide franchise. Though critics were notoriously low on the film, it nevertheless proved to be a moneymaker, and earned profits that far exceeded its budget. That naturally led to a string of sequels across the 2000s, which were of a generally declining quality. A short-lived TV series attempted to keep the 19th time capsule alive, but it seemed that I Know What You Did Last Summer didn't have the staying power. However, the classic 19th hidden gem has become something of a cult favorite, and the fourth movie is aiming to cash in on the legacy sequel trend of the 2020s. Though largely forgotten for nearly a decade, the legacy sequel was announced back in 2014, before finally being confirmed in 2023.
What's the trouble?
That's him! Behind you! Behind you!
Though largely forgotten for nearly a decade, the legacy sequel was announced back in 2014, before finally being confirmed in 2023. But with a lot of rumors being written way before then. With Sony as the studio behind the project, Do Revenge's Jennifer Kaytin Robinson was tapped to direct, with Leah McKendrick assigned to screenwriting duties. Little else was revealed about the film, except that original stars Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt were in talks to return. Little has been made about the cast thus far, and even the initial announcement is shrouded in doubt. Hewitt was since confirmed she would love to return, but that seems to indicate she hasn't been approached. Likewise, Freddie Prinze Jr. cast doubt on his I Know What You Did Last Summer return, when saying he hadn't been asked. As for other possible returning stars, original lead Sarah Michelle Gellar denied she would appear in the sequel, for a rather logical reason. Unlike other stars who refused to return on principle, Gellar pointed out that her character Helen was killed in a rather convincing fashion, making her return illogical, of course. Considering screenwriter Leah McKendrick's emphasis on a more grounded tone, Gellar's thoughts have merit. Almost nothing is known about what will happen in the new film, but the I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel could turn to the novel for inspiration. Despite drawing its title from Lois Duncan's book, the plot was quite different outside the framework of a group of young adults being stalked after their notorious cover-up.
Look, I swear!
Is he dead?
I don't know. Check his pulse. No way! You're the one who rammed it!
Just do it!
In the movie, their victim is a fisherman, while in the book it is a young boy. Since the series strayed so far from the book's plot, the legacy sequel could turn to Duncan once again for inspiration, and adapt it in a more straightforward manner. This would satisfy the desire to make it a legacy sequel instead of a reboot, and it would deliver the more down-to-earth and grounded tone that director Jennifer Kaytin Robinson is going for in the I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel. Also, it could be as simple as someone being a copycat to the murders that happened decades earlier in the first two films. But that would kind of lack creativity. It can also go to the Scream route and have the killer be one of the new characters, but that would also be predictable, so their best bet would be going back to the original novel. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. This has been Boogeyman Cinema. Thank you for watching. What do you think a third I Know What You Did Last Summer movie will be about? Please let me know in the comments.